Welcome back to Historical Highway, where we explore the most fascinating chapters of history and uncover the mysteries hidden within the ancient world. Imagine a civilization so advanced that it developed technologies rivaling modern-day computing systems, thousands of years before the first computer was even conceptualized. When we think of Egypt, we think of towering pyramids, enigmatic hieroglyphs, and the mighty pharaohs who ruled a kingdom drenched in gold and mystery. But what if I told you that the ancient Egyptians, the same people who built the iconic Great Pyramid of Giza, might have harnessed something akin to an early form of computing technology? Sounds impossible, right? Well, some intriguing discoveries and theories have emerged that challenge our conventional understanding of what the Egyptians were truly capable of. Let's take a closer look at the enigmatic devices, mysterious inscriptions, and peculiar relics that have led some to wonder. Were the Egyptians hiding a technological prowess far beyond what we've given them credit for? Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Historical Highway for more deep dives into history's hidden stories and ancient enigmas. Now, most of us know the Egyptians for their sophisticated mathematics, astronomy, and engineering. They developed the calendar, devised a complex system of irrigation, and built monumental structures that have stood the test of time. But what if there was more, something deeper? For decades, historians and archaeologists have uncovered unusual artifacts that defy simple explanation. Among these is the Dendera light, an enigmatic relief that seems to depict a giant light bulb. Some believe this carving may represent advanced knowledge of electrical technology, while others dismiss it as a mere symbol of creation and life. Yet, the Dendera light is not alone in fueling theories of Egyptian technological prowess. There is also the infamous Antikythera mechanism, often considered the world's oldest analog computer, which dates back to ancient Greece. But what many people don't realize is that fragments of similar gear-like mechanisms have been found in Egypt as well, dating to a time long before the Greeks mastered such technology. These findings beg the question: did the Greeks develop this technology independently, or did they inherit it from the Egyptians? Now let's explore a lesser-known artifact: the Saqqara bird. Discovered in 1898 in a tomb near Saqqara, this small, bird-shaped object was initially classified as a toy. But upon closer inspection, its aerodynamic shape resembles that of a modern-day glider. Some theorists argue that this relic could be evidence that the Egyptians had an understanding of the principles of flight long before the Wright brothers. If they were experimenting with early aviation, what other technologies might they have been developing? But perhaps the most tantalizing evidence of all comes from the ancient temple of Edfu. In this temple, inscriptions describe a house of knowledge that supposedly contained secret wisdom passed down from the gods. The texts speak of a time before the Great Flood, a period when divine beings known as the Neteru bestowed technological knowledge upon humanity. Skeptics dismiss these tales as mythological, but could there be a kernel of truth hidden within these ancient records? Let's not forget the mystery of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Traditionally seen as a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu, the pyramid has been the subject of countless theories, ranging from astronomical observatory to a giant water pump. Yet a recent hypothesis suggests an even more radical idea: that the pyramid itself was a type of power plant. Researchers argue that its geometric precision, unique construction materials, and internal chambers could have created a piezoelectric effect, essentially generating energy within the structure. If true, this would completely revolutionize our understanding of what the Egyptians were capable of. But even if this theory is just a fascinating fantasy, it opens up a broader question. Why would an ancient civilization invest so much time and resources into building something so precise if it was merely a tomb? Now, I know what you might be thinking. These theories sound far-fetched, right? But remember, many technological breakthroughs throughout history seemed impossible until they were proven true. Think about it. Who would have believed that steam engines could power entire cities during the Industrial Revolution? Or that mankind would set foot on the moon just 66 years after the Wright brothers' first flight? Progress often comes from challenging conventional wisdom, and history is full of surprises. So, could the ancient Egyptians have been experimenting with technologies that we're only beginning to rediscover today? There's also the curious case of the Baghdad battery. Although it's technically from ancient Mesopotamia, Similar artifacts have been discovered in Egypt as well. These devices, consisting of a clay jar, copper tube, and iron rod, could have been used to generate a small electric current. Were these simple batteries used for electroplating gold onto jewelry, as some suggest? Or did they serve a more mysterious purpose, perhaps even for medicinal or ritualistic practices that involved the use of electricity? To fully appreciate what the Egyptians might have known, we need to understand their approach to science and technology. Unlike the Greeks, who pursued knowledge for its own sake, the Egyptians saw science as a means to serve practical, spiritual, and symbolic purposes. This might explain why their potential technological advances were shrouded in secrecy, hidden behind layers of religious symbolism. After all, what better way to guard your most prized knowledge than by wrapping it in myth? Another intriguing theory involves the so-called lamps of Abydos. Deep within the temple walls of Abydos are carvings that some say look like modern-day helicopters and spacecraft. Mainstream scholars attribute these images to overlapping hieroglyphs and erosion, but proponents of the ancient astronaut theory see them as proof that the Egyptians may have had contact with otherworldly beings. While such interpretations stretch the limits of credibility, it does make one wonder, did the Egyptians know something about technology that we're missing today? Whether these theories are true or not, one thing is clear. The ancient Egyptians were far more advanced than we often give them credit for. Their knowledge of mathematics, engineering, and architecture still baffles experts today. They created structures with such precision that modern engineers struggle to replicate them. If they could achieve all this without the help of advanced technology, it raises the question, just what were they capable of? The Egyptians also made use of complex hydraulic engineering to control the waters of the Nile, developing a system of canals and reservoirs that surpassed anything seen in other ancient civilizations. One of the lesser-known innovations was the Nilometer, a sophisticated instrument used to measure the level of the Nile's waters to predict floods and ensure successful agricultural yields. This device, which combined geometry, astronomy, and hydrology, was essential for sustaining the kingdom's food supply, and was perhaps the earliest example of practical engineering used to solve complex problems. Another fascinating innovation is their potential use of early sound technology. There are inscriptions that suggest the Egyptians understood how to use acoustics for ceremonial purposes. The Temple of Karnak was built with columns that created unique sound reverberations, leading some to speculate that the Egyptians may have experimented with using sound to alter consciousness during religious rituals. Such techniques might not equate to modern computers, but they demonstrate an understanding of physics that few ancient civilizations possessed. So, could the Egyptians have been the true pioneers of technology, experimenting with concepts and devices that would only be rediscovered millennia later? It's a question that historians, archaeologists, and curious minds will continue to debate for years to come. But one thing is certain: history is full of mysteries, and sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. If you enjoyed this exploration into the hidden history of ancient Egypt, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Historical Highway, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep searching for the truth.